Hello student, I welcome you all to my channel Miss Commerce Swati Gavasne. In the last video lecture we have seen about Henry Fayol's principles of management. Prior to that we have done with significance and nature of management. Now here we are going with the Frederick Wilson Taylor's scientific management theory, that is F.W. Taylor's scientific management theory. Here we are going to learn about F.W. Taylor's scientific principles of management. How we are done of Henry Fayol's important principles of management. We are going to see F.W. Taylor's scientific principles of management. Now let's move. Taylor, born in 1856, died in 1915, an American, started his career as machinist in Midwell Steel Works, Philadelphia. Through his hard work and progress, got the position of chief engineering. He introduced his observation and experiments based on scientific data. Taylor's approach towards management is termed as scientific management. He is called as father of scientific management for his contribution and development of managing thoughts. He was an American and he started his career as a machinist in Midwell Steelworks in Philadelphia, country, American city name. And first he was a machinist, and through his hard work and progress, he got the position of a chief engineer. So he introduced his observations, whatever he had done in his career of life. While doing his work regularly, he has done some observations and experiments which he introduced as a scientific observations, which was based on the scientific data also. So his approach towards the management was termed as scientific management, because whatever he has find out, his findings, analyzing observations was based on experiments and on scientific data itself. So he was called as father of scientific management for all his contribution and development thoughts. His theory is based on scientific management. Theory involves application of scientific approach to decision making and solving problems at a time. Taylor says problems should be solved by scientific approach rather than thumb rule method or trial or error approach. What was Taylor saying? That for finding out any solution, why to do trial and error? It is a wastage of time, energy, money. So he was telling that for every work, or he is telling, or his research or his approaches, for every work there should be a scientific approach. Let's move further. Definition of scientific management. Scientific management consists of knowing what you, that is management, meant to do exactly, and seeing it that they do it in best and cheapest manner. Very clear definition it is. Scientific management consists of knowing exactly here what management want his person, his employees, his workers, his levels of management people to do exactly, and seeing that and to see that they do it in the best possible manner without any wastage of resources and to the cheapest manner. Wastage of resources नहीं करेंगे तो खर्चा भी कम आएगा, energy resources waste नहीं होंगे. So more production or more productivity in less resources. This is the thing which the scientific management wants, or exactly the management wants his people to do. I hope the definition is very clear. Now let's move to the principles of scientific management. Here comes the first principle: science, not rule of thumb. What exactly it is? To increase organizational efficiency, the rule of thumb method should be substituted, which was developed by scientific analysis of work. rule of thumb decision are based on personal judgments of manager. For every small work, Taylor insisted upon scientific method. It is concerned with selecting the best way for performing a job after scientific analysis to that job is done, instead of applying trial and error method. Standard required time and output should be in advance, well defined by manager to the employee. Very nicely it's been stated by the Taylor. He was telling that for increasing the organizational efficiency, the rule of thumb method should be substituted है, उसकी जगह पे दूसरा डेवलप किया गया साइंटिफिक एनालिसिस ऑफ वर्क फॉलो करना चाहिए. रूल ऑफ थंब मेथड में क्या होता है, एक मैनेजर का पर्सनल जजमेंट होता है. वॉट एवर मैनेजर थिंक्स ऑफ एनी पर्सन और हिज बिहेवियर, हिज वर्किंग कंसिस्टेंसी, कैपेसिटी, इफिशिएंसी, वो उसी जजमेंट को पकड़ के चलता है. दैट डिसीजन और दैट जजमेंट इज नॉट चेंज, इट्स फिक्स्ड एवर. एक बार जो डिसीजन या एक बार जो हम किसी के बारे में कुछ राय या ओपिनियन बना लेते, इट इज परमानेंट. सो इट शुड नॉट हैपन. एज पर द सिचुएशन एंड द कंडीशन, द जजमेंट शुड बी चेंज और द पर्सन ऑल्सो बिहेवियर वैरी. बट यहाँ पर थंब रूल में क्या था, इट वॉज बेस्ड ऑन पर्सनल जजमेंट ऑफ मैनेजर. सो एवरी टाइम इट मे नॉट बी करेक्ट. सो फॉर एवरी स्मॉल वर्क ऑल्सो टेलर इंसिस्टेड अपॉन साइंटिफिक मेथड. उनका यही कहना था कि कोई भी काम करने से पहले उसको सिलेक्ट करो, कौन से तरीके से करना है, और वो तरीका भी फर्स्ट इट नीड टू बी एनालाइज्ड बाय अ साइंटिफिक वे, दैट इट इज अ प्रॉपर वे और नॉट. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ ट्राइंग, ये करके देखे वो करके देखे, ये ट्रायल और मेथड एरर मेथड से टाइम वेस्ट होगा, रिसोर्सेज सब कुछ वेस्ट होगा. सो नेवर वी शुड गो फॉर दिस. और किसी भी चीज को बनाने के लिए स्टैंडर्ड टाइम और स्टैंडर्ड आउटपुट क्या है, वो मैनेजर ने पहले ही एडवांसली अपने एम्प्लॉय को बताना बहुत जरूरी है इन एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो दिस इज साइंस, नॉट रूल ऑफ थंब. It helps in saving time and human energy, and which results in expected standard output. Yes, as I stated before, time और human energy भी waste होती है, and exactly the last what we want, expected standard output, इससे हमें मिलता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल उन्होंने बताया कि कोई भी छोटी सी चीज, जैसे पहले बताई गई है कि छोटी सी चीज में भी वो बोल रहे थे कि साइंटिफिक अप्रोच या साइंटिफिक मेथड से काम करना है. अभी लोडिंग आयरन शीट्स इनटू अ बॉक्स कार्स कैन बी डन इन अ साइंटिफिकली प्लान्ड वे, इज व्हाट द टेलर सेज. सो दिस इज द पिक ऑफ rule of thumb where the thumb is been short. I hope this point is clear. Let's move. Second, harmony, not discord. This principle states there should be harmony in between employees and management. Coordination results in minimizing conflicts between them, creating healthy work environment for achieving desired results. That is, success, perfect understanding between employee and management is helpful. Maximum prosperity of employee should be taught by management. Harmony, not discord. What exactly it is? Harmony, yani there should be a good relation between employee and management. Coordination ज़्यादा coordination से किया गया काम बहुत अच्छा result देता है. And if there is a coordination, a good harmony, a good mutual understanding, a mutual trust, then it also helps in minimizing the conflicts between them. जो भी मनमुटाव है या disputes है वो कम होते हैं. एंड नेचुरली उससे क्या होता है, हेल्दी एनवायरमेंट क्रिएट होता है. व्हेन देयर इज अ और वेयर देयर इज अ हेल्दी एनवायरमेंट, द अचीविंग डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट, दे आर एबल टू अचीव द डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट, दैट इज सक्सेस, परफेक्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग बिटवीन द एम्प्लॉय एंड द मैनेजमेंट. उन दोनों में इतना अंडरस्टैंडिंग होता है कि उस अंडरस्टैंडिंग से किया गया काम 100% डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट लाता ही लाता है, उसमें कोई शक नहीं है. सो मैक्सिमम प्रॉस्पेरिटी ऑफ एम्प्लॉय शुड बी थॉट बाय मैनेजमेंट ऑल्सो. व्हेन द एम्प्लॉय इज गिवन their 100%, management also need to think about their prosperity as a part of it. So here's the pic of cooperation between management and workers, or harmony not discard. See, very nicely they are working together, the management and the employees. Interaction is going on very properly, discussion, something. Next, mental revolution. Taylor introduced the concept mental revolution. It focuses on change in the attitude of employee and management towards each other, as both of them are equally important in the organization. There should be full cooperation for achieving goals or organization, which increases productivity and profit. The PIC also here states that the basic idea behind the principle of scientific management is to change the mental attitude of workers and the management towards each other. यहाँ पर टेलर wants to say that there should be focuses in the changing of the attitude of both employee and management, because without each other, both are the equally important part of the organization. उन दोनों के बगैर कोई काम होना नामुमकिन है. So they are the both the strong supporters or the pillars of the organization. So उनके आपस में there should be full cooperation, and उन दोनों का मकसद एक ही होना चाहिए, that is achieving goal of organization, which simultaneously helps in increasing the profits and the productivity of any organization. This is what mental revolution tells. Mental revolution focuses on the changing in the attitude of employee and the management towards each other. See here, you can see when the picture is showing that the production level is going up, and here the management is giving a sort of bonus to the employee. You can see by the pic that both of their faces, there is a smile or the happiness. This is also a good sign of cooperation, mutual understanding, trust in between both of them. This is what mental revolution exactly wanted to say. There should be change in the attitude of the employee and the management, vice versa, towards each other for achieving the common goals of the organization. Because दोनों काम किस लिए करते हैं? Organization के लिए. And organization तभी success पा सकती है 100% when there is a harmony not discard, and there is a good attitude, good healthy environment among the organization. Next point, cooperation not individualism. It emphasizes on mutual cooperation between workforce, that is employee and management. Cooperation, trust, team spirit, etc. turn internal competition into healthy working environment. Suggestions given by employee should be considered in decision making by management. Employees should be treated as an integral part of organization in all respect. Employees should also resist going on strike and making unnecessary demands from management. Both should treat each other as two pillars of organization. The point is here also continued, that is cooperation, not individualism. दोनों में कोऑपरेशन होना चाहिए और इंडिविजुअलिज्म यानी क्या सिर्फ एक का ही नहीं सोचना चाहिए. Here when there is a team, not no one should be thinking of any individual as a person. Here it should be we, not I. This is what not individualism explains. So here it emphasizes more on the cooperation between the employees and the management. कोऑपरेशन, ट्रस्ट, टीम स्पिरिट, ये सारी चीजें इंटरनल कंपटीशन को हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट में बनाने के लिए और दे टर्न द इंटरनल कंपटीशन, जो भी लोगों के या मैनेजर्स के बीच में रहती है या एम्प्लॉयज के बीच में रहती है, उसको दूर करके एक हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट क्रिएट करता है. when there is a trust, there is a team spirit among each other and the cooperation, mutual trust, like that. So here the employee should be considered in making decision by the management, उनका भी कोई सुझाव है या if there is a good suggestion, it should be seen that how it can be applied in the organization by which the organization can get maximum profit. Here employee को भी एक internal part की तरह treat करना चाहिए by the organization से. उनको अगर decision making में involve किया तो belongingness, trust, mutual understanding, cooperation ज़्यादा बढ़ता है and employee भी फिर खुश होते. फिर अगर employee खुश रहेंगे तो वो unnecessary, they will resist ना, they will not go on the strikes or making any unnecessary demand from the management. But ये कब हो सकता है? If management is also thinking about the employee in a good manner, when there is a change in the attitude, there is a cooperation and not individualism, there is a healthy environment, then only, and when there is a harmony, then only all these things are possible. So both should be treated as two pillars of the organization, two strong pillars of the organization. मैनेजमेंट के बगैर वर्कर्स नहीं और वर्कर्स के बगैर कोई कंपनी नहीं चलती. सो बोथ आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. इसका ख्याल दोनों ने रखना चाहिए एंड अकॉर्डिंगली दे शुड वर्क टुवर्ड्स द अचीवमेंट ऑफ द गोल ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Here's the pic which shows the cooperation, not individualism. You can see here they have the hands shaking and the mutual trust. Here they are raising their hands and which shows there is a cooperation between each of them. Next, division of responsibility. Proper division of work should always be done with division of responsibility between manager and employee. Top and middle level management authorities do the major planning. Employees are concentrating on its execution as per instructions given by superior. Reporting is done. Employees should always be encouraged and guided by managers. It helps and results in best performance of employee and manager. What is the principle here? That is division of responsibility. So the work should be always divided, or there should be the division of the responsibility between the manager and the employees. Top level से middle level authorities का planning का काम करते हैं और उसका execution या implementation का काम होता है employees से. So employees part here is concentrating on its execution and implementation of whatever the planning or the decisions been done by top and middle level management to carry out it properly in a smooth flow manner. So instruction जो भी superior देता है उसको follow करके employees ने काम करना रहता है और as per the work they has to report to their seniors. So employees को manager ने यहाँ पे हमेशा time to time guide करना चाहिए how to do the work, what all the things should be taken care of, and they should be encouraged by the managers so that they are the employees can give their best result, and both help each other and get the best performance by employee as well as by the managers. See here, you can see the pic here. Manager is giving the responsibility and authority to the subordinate, and the subordinate is at the last there is accountability of the subordinate to the manager. From this it's very clear. And the last point, development of employer and employee for greater efficiency of maximum prosperity. The skills and capabilities of employees to a great extent result in best performance of the organization. So providing training and development programs for employees as required is essential, which affects the profitability of the organization. To attain greater efficiency and maximum prosperity, each employee should be given opportunity. What's the point here? Development of employer and employee for greater efficiency and maximum prosperity. दोनों का development साथ में होना चाहिए with the greater efficiency, and the end result will be the maximum prosperity. So as per the skills, capabilities of the employees, to a great extent in their best performance of the organization, it results in the good productivity or their efficiency, production, capability, performance of the employees. So if needed from time to time, training and the development programs should be carried out for the employee if essential or required. उससे क्या होता है, इफिशिएंसी बढ़ती है. अगर एम्प्लॉय की इफिशिएंसी बढ़ती है तो नेचुरली ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का प्रोडक्शन बढ़ता है, प्रोडक्शन बढ़ता है तो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी बढ़ती है. सो दिस सर्कल गोज ऑन. सो टू अटेन अ ग्रेटर इफिशिएंसी एंड मैक्सिमम प्रॉस्पेरिटी, each employee should be given the opportunity by giving him the proper training as and if required. See here you can see everyone's happy faces as they are getting the benefits of training to employees and the employers. This is the best pick, which is a self-explanatory also. Thank you, student, for listening to me. And if you like my videos, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Please click on to the bell icon for getting the updation later on. Thank you.